What's up? This is your market recap for October 7th, 2025. As you can see, today we played extremely bearish, but unfortunately there was no signals that we would head bearish, so there was nothing we could really do today as far as trading it goes. I do believe the draw was this market open. As you can see, Friday we closed here, Sunday we opened here, and had zero sell side action, so we came down, hit that low, and got a little bit of that sell side action we wanted. Whether or not it's going to be enough to suffice, I do not know. But all I do know is we are now trending downwards in the hourly. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. As far as this morning goes, we took out these all-time highs at 8 o'clock, put a little wick above there on the 9 o'clock candle, and then we we started to kind of just fall all the way down. You can see here taking out intermediate lows here, and then this higher time frame major low there and down here, targeting this low for the day. And then from there we kind of went horizontal, which is why it tells me that this was the target. 15-minute time frame, not really much, if anything. I was personally playing bullish since we took out this high. I was looking for us to retrace, right? Because I'm not going to play bearish simply because of a lack of a significant sweep, right? So I was playing a retrace of, I believe it's this whole move. Yeah. Which is right there. So I was playing bullish from there and this intermediate low once those got taken. Actually, I think it was up here because there was a huge, I'll get down to that on the lower time frame. So you can see here, market did absolutely nothing until 10 o'clock, where it started to go down, working its way lower, and then this 11 o'clock macro kind of accelerated everything, taking us all the way down to, once again, this right here is our target. I don't know why it's not showing up on the 15-minute. Let's actually go fix that. There we go. All right. There we go. That's the low, and as you can see, once we hit that, we have zero movement from there. So this was the draw that I called yesterday that is possible, but unfortunately there was no evidence to back this up, this bearish play, so couldn't really have been done. 5-minute time frame, you can see here, big rally. Pre-market took out this high, immediately fell from it. Now the reason this isn't enough for me to play bearish is because we could simply just retrace here and then go again, right? This is signifying that price is going to go down for at some point, right? It might be for 5 minutes, but it might also be like today, where we're going down 200 handles, right? So it's just too unpredictable, at least for me in that sense. Now, we have this 5-minute fair value gap here, which keeps price really nicely inside of it before we start to lose that ground there, and then we trickle our way down below this low, these lows here, and then all the way down to this one. And as you can see, I'm not going to point it out again, but we hit it and we go horizontal. That was target for the day. Now, reasons why I was bullish. One, we're trending bullish on the higher time frame. Simple as that. We're at all-time highs, so I'm not going to think bearish unless we have a higher time frame SMT already in store, which we don't at this time. So we took out this high, retraced it down here, consolidated for a little bit. I was thinking that, because at this time, as you can see here, we have an SMT of lows. ES was trailing downwards. So my thought process was that this ES is going to fill all of our sell side requirements in hitting equilibrium and filling in some inefficiencies or whatnot, taking liquidity, and then we'd go bullish from there. But when that happened, I believe I entered either 53 or 54. We expanded upwards, had an SMT of this high, which was the tipping point for the day. I got out at roughly break even. I wanted to keep my stop and allow price to hit constant encroachment of a wick that was by a fair value gap. So I think I lost like 300, and I think it was 280. But we ended up really just going up to take this high and then coming down. I'm not upset at the trade that I took. I think it was a good trade. It was supported. Higher time frame, lower time frame was aligned with my bias. Had a lower time frame SMT. It was all set according to my model. Um, could I have observed this price action and not wanted to get in it? Absolutely. Um, I mean, that's always an option. But usually, unless there is a reason and evidence by London session that market's not going to go anywhere, right? Because London session, we have this chop here, but then we expand upwards, where we have some sort of movement throughout London session. Unless London session is just as consolidating, I don't expect this consolidation to continue through more than until the macro, right? But today it did, and we just wanted to play bearish. I mean, it's one of those. This is why no one can have a 100% win rate. And I'm not saying I have anything close to a 100% win rate, and this is the only time I lose. Um, but I'm just saying that's why I am not upset, I'll say, about losing this, because my trade was following my rules, it was within my model, and it just so happened that we hit this SMT up here, and then boom, we were playing sell side. Just one of those risks that's just assigned when trading at all-time highs. So from there, you can see this 5 minute is really keeping us in here nicely. Trying to think. The reason why I was okay with this going down here is because, like I mentioned, this retrace is enough for this leg, but not this whole leg right here. So I wanted to see a little bit more of that retrace, so I was looking to play that expansion after the retrace, but we ended up not stopping. So hit that macro, kind of started the tip over right here. In this macro, just as you can see, we go from kind of consolidation to just absolutely sending it all the way down. Like this would have been a very fun trade to be in. And then, of course, here's our target for the day. Little SMT here to get us back off that low, but nothing really tradable within this. So yeah, trade of the day. I honestly don't know that it exists. Can't short all-time highs, and we're short, so can't do that. As far as the next couple days go, today is Tuesday, tomorrow's Wednesday. We're back here. We'll really just have to see how it reacts to this. Go down to 15. I'm really looking to see how we treat this high here. If we barely sweep this high and play sell side, well, then we're going to play sell side this week. If I could also allow price to come up to here, really depends on what is happening at the time. We have this big hourly fair value gap here. We're trending sell side. One of the reasons why I still feel like we're playing bullish is just because of how we took out this low. Really seems like we were just filling in that gap, and we did so. Created a sell side wick, and we might resume price action. I don't know, because it's a little difficult because we're in this range here. So no real trend going on as far as that's concerned. But just with how we took out that low down there, I don't know, not very convincing for playing sell side. But again, we will have to see how price treats this high here and this 15-minute fair value up there. So this is one of those where I can't really say anything as far as the next day goes. All I can say is I would expect price to trail up at some point to these after taking this low. Now, whether we're playing bullish or not, or whether it's just a retrace, don't know. But its reactions at those areas will be helpful in building that bias for tomorrow. So this has been your market recap for October 7th, 2025.